So we were discussing the Rutherford scattering, and we have divided the study of the Rutherford scattering into three parts. One is the calculation of the fraction of projectiles scattered at angles greater than some angle theta, and second one is this Rutherford scattering formula and its experimental verification, and third one is the closest approach of the projectile to the nucleus. So we have already discussed the calculation of the fraction of projectiles which were scattered at an angles greater than some theta, and that is given by nt into pi b square, where n is the number density, T is the thickness of the foil, and B is the specific impact parameter. So now we discuss the Rutherford scattering formula and its experimental verification. So now here we have to find out the probability that a projectile will be scattered into a small range of angle, that means between theta plus d theta. So d theta is a very small range here. So theta can have any value, but d theta is very small. So for this, the impact parameter should lie within a small range. So that should vary between b and b plus dB here. So now we have seen that the fraction of the projectile that approaches the atom within the area pi b square is given by nt into pi b square. F here is nt into pi b square. Now the fraction df, the derivative of this fraction for the angular range, the particles scattered at angles between theta to theta plus d theta, or having impact parameters between b and b plus db is df. So we have to take derivative of this. N is a constant, t is another constant, pi is another constant, and b square, b varies here. So the derivative of b square is 2b db. So we can write this as nt into 2 pi b dB. So now we have already seen an expression for B in the previous class, which is given by ZZE square by 8 pi epsilon 0 k cot theta by 2. So dB is the derivative of this. So we have, so these quantities are constants. ZE square by 8 pi epsilon 0 k. So we have to find out dB by d theta and take d theta towards the side. And the derivative of cot theta by 2 is minus cosec square theta by 2 into derivative of theta by 2, that is 1 over 2. So that is dB by d theta. So now taking d theta towards this side, dB equal to this. So now we can substitute this dB and b in this expression. We get, so this is b and this is dB. So multiplying these terms together, we get, here the minus sign is not important. This minus sign tells us that theta increases when b decreases. So we can neglect it. We can take the modulus of df here, and this 2 and this half cancels, and we have the modulus df is equal to pi nt into ze square by 8 pi epsilon 0 k whole square cot theta by 2 cosec square theta by 2 d theta. ഇതിന് നമുക്ക് രണ്ട് ടേം ആയിട്ട് എഴുതാം കേട്ടോ. വേണമെങ്കിൽ z by 2k whole square into ടെക്സ്റ്റിൽ അങ്ങനെ എഴുതിയിരിക്കുന്നത് z by 2k whole square into E square by 4 pi epsilon 0 whole square. So anything is okay. Now suppose we place a detector for the scattered projectiles at an angle theta at a distance r from the nucleus. The probability for the projectile to be scattered into the detector depends on df. So this df gives the probability for the scattered particles to pass through a ring of radius r sine theta. So this is r and the radius is r sine theta and width r into d theta. So this is r and this is d theta. So arc is angle into radius. So r d theta ആണ് ഇതിന്റെ thickness. ഇതിന്റെ radius എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ r sin theta ആണ്. And therefore the area of the ring is ഇതിന്റെ circumference multiplied by ഇതിന്റെ thickness ആയിരിക്കും ഏരിയ വരുന്നത് 2 pi r sin theta into r d theta. Okay. So the area of the ring is represented as dA since it is an elemental area. So that is the circumference 2 pi r sin theta into this thickness of this ring, that is r into d theta. So now we have to calculate the rate at which the projectiles are scattered into the detector. So for this we have to know the probability per unit area for the scattering into the ring. അപ്പോൾ അതെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് probability per unit area എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് df by dA ആയിരിക്കും. മോഡുലസ് df by dA. മോഡുലസ് df എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഫ്രാക്ഷൻ ആണ്. ഫ്രാക്ഷൻ ഓഫ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് scattered at angles between theta and theta plus d theta being small. അതാണ് ഡി എഫ്. ഡി എ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇതിൻ്റെ ഈ റിങ്ങിൻ്റെ ഏരിയയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ so we have to calculate the rate at which the projectiles are scattered into this detector. Okay. അപ്പോൾ അതെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് the probability per unit area for scattering into the ring. അപ്പോൾ df by dA ആണ് probability per unit area for scattering into the ring. അതിന് നമ്മൾ n of theta എന്നാണ് വിളിക്കുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു df എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് probability for the projectile to be scattered into the detector ആണ്. So this gives the probability per unit area. Substituting this df and dA we get, so this d theta and d theta cancels over here and നമുക്ക് ഈ cosec square theta by 2 1 over sin square theta by 2 എഴുതാം. pi nt zz square by 8 pi epsilon 0 k whole square. Cosec square is 1 over sin square theta by 2 and cot theta by 2 is cos theta by 2 by sin theta by 2. അതുപോലെ ഈ 2 pi r സ്ക്വയർ ഇവിടെ എഴുതാം. r into r square. sin theta by 2 sin theta 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2 എന്ന് എഴുതാം. ഈ cos theta by 2 ഈ cos theta by 2 കട്ട് ചെയ്തു പോകും. അപ്പോൾ ഡിനോമിനേറ്ററിൽ നമുക്ക് ഇവിടെ theta by 2 ഉണ്ട്. ഇവിടെ ഒരു sin theta by 2 sin square theta by 2 sin theta by 2. അപ്പോൾ sin to the power 4 theta by 2 ഉണ്ടാവും. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഇവിടെ ഒരു 4 pi ഉണ്ട്. പൈ കട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പോവും. സോ വി ഗെറ്റ് nt by 4r square ze square by 8 pi epsilon 0 k whole square into 1 over sin raised to 4 theta by 2. So this is n of theta and this is called the Rutherford scattering formula. So the Rutherford scattering formula gives an expression for n of theta, that is the probability per unit area for scattering into a ring. So, in the Rutherford laboratory, the scientists Geiger and Marston tested the predictions of this formula with a set of experiments involving the scattering of alpha particles. So alpha particles are having small z is equal to 2, and they have used a variety of thin metal foils. So in those days, there were no instruments for the electronic recording and processing. So Geiger and Marston observed and recorded the alpha particles by counting the scintillations. Scintillations mean the flashes of light which are produced when the alpha particles struck a zinc sulfide screen. Okay, so a schematic of such an apparatus is shown. So here a radioactive source of alpha particles is used in a shield with a small hole. So the alpha particles strike the foil F. So this is our foil F, and they are scattered into different angular ranges d theta. So then there is a zinc sulfide screen over here. So each time the scattered particles strike the zinc sulfide screen S, a flash of light is being emitted from the zinc sulfide screen, and this flash of light is observed with a movable microscope. So this was their apparatus, and using this apparatus they tested the 4 predictions of the Rutherford scattering formula. So now we can check those 4 predictions. So the first prediction was n of theta here is proportional to the thickness of the foil. So that was the first prediction. So Geiger and Marsden used alpha particles having kinetic energy 8 million electron volt. So they have used scattering foils of varying thickness, keeping the scattering angle theta fixed at about 25 degrees, and their results were shown in this figure, and we can see that the foil thickness is there on the x-axis, and the number scattered is on the y-axis, n of theta on the y-axis, and we can see that this n of theta and t has got a linear dependence, that is n of theta is directly proportional to theta. And from this it is clear that at even at this moderate scattering angle 25 degree, the single scattering is much more important than multiple scattering. അപ്പോൾ സിംഗിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിങ് ആയതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ എക്സ്പ്രഷൻ ട്രൂ ആയത്. അപ്പോൾ മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിങ് വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ സ്റ്റാറ്റിസ്റ്റിക്കൽ തിയറി അനുസരിച്ച് probability of scattering at large angle is proportional to the square root of number of single scattering. അപ്പോൾ n of തീറ്റയുടെ നേരത്തെ n of theta നേരത്തെ കണ്ട എക്സ്പ്രഷൻ ഡിറക്ട്ലി പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ ടു ടി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് സിംഗിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിങ്ങിൻ്റെയാണ്. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിങ്ങിൻ്റെത് അതിൻ്റെ റൂട്ടിന് പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ ആയിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ എൻ ഓഫ് തീറ്റ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ ടു ടി റേസ് ടു ഹാഫ് ഓർ റൂട്ട് ടി ഫോർ മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിങ്. പക്ഷേ ഈ ഡയഗ്രാം അനുസരിച്ച് അത് ട്രൂ അല്ല. എൻ ഓഫ് തീറ്റ ടിക്ക് തന്നെയാണ് ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് മെറ്റീരിയൽസിന് പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ എന്ന് നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. സോ അവിടെ സിംഗിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിംഗ് ആണ് നടക്കുന്നത്. സോ ദിസ് റിസൾട്ട് എംഫസൈസ് ദാറ്റ് ദർ ഇസ് എ സിംഗിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിംഗ്. So that is the main difference between the Thomson scattering and Rutherford scattering. In Thomson scattering, the projectile is scattered by every atom along its path it passes through the foil. പക്ഷേ റദർഫോർഡ് മോഡലിൽ ന്യൂക്ലിയസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് വളരെ ടൈനി ആണ്. സോ ദി ചാൻസ് ഓഫ് ഈവൻ എ സിംഗിൾ എൻകൗണ്ടർ ഇസ് വെരി സ്മോൾ. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിങ്ങിൻ്റെ ചാൻസ് വളരെ കുറവായിരിക്കും. സോ സിംഗിൾ സ്കാറ്ററിംഗ് ആണ് റദർഫോർഡ് മോഡലിൽ. is dominant. So the number scattered and foil thickness are directly proportional, or they are having a linear dependence. So we get number scattered versus foil thickness graphs are uh, as straight lines for various materials. So if n of theta were proportional to t to the power half, this should be parabolas instead. So they have quadratic dependence, but we can see that from this figure they are having linear dependence. So n of theta is proportional to t rather than root t. So we can say that the single scattering is more significant, and the reason is that the scattering occurs when the projectile hit the nucleus, but the nucleus is very tiny, and the chance for a single encounter is very small. Most of the projectiles pass through this material without any deviation. Only a few is scattered. So, the probability for more than one scattering is very small. ഓരോ ന്യൂക്ലിയസിനെ ഹിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അടുത്ത ന്യൂക്ലിയസിനെ ഹിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന probability എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ വളരെ സ്മോൾ ആയിരിക്കും. So single scattering is dominant in the case of Rutherford scattering. So we have verified that n of theta is proportional to t. So now the second one is that we have to verify n of theta proportional to z square. We have already seen that this n of theta is in t by 4r square into e by 8 k pi epsilon 0 whole square, or we can write zz square by 2k, zz by 2k whole square multiplied by e square by 4 pi epsilon 0 whole square multiplied by 1 over sine to the power 4 theta by 2. So from this it is clear that n of theta is proportional to z square. Z means the atomic number of the material of the foil. So Geiger and Marsden used a variety of different scattering materials. That means materials with different Z, but they are having approximately the same thickness. Say different materials ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. So approximately same thickness. അപ്പോൾ T ഒരു ഏകദേശം ഒരു കോൺസ്റ്റന്റ് ആയിട്ട് കരുതാം. So this experiment is very difficult to perform. So we have to use different materials have of different thickness. അങ്ങനെ T മാറ്റി ഡിഫറെന്റ് T, അതായത് അലൂമിനിയം ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ അലൂമിനിയം കോപ്പർ എല്ലാം ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ തിക്നെസ്സിൽ, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ അലൂമിനിയം കോപ്പർ വേറൊരു തിക്നെസ്സിൽ, അങ്ങനെ ഡിഫറെന്റ് സെറ്റ്സ് അവർ ചെയ്തു. ആൻഡ് for a particular thickness they have plotted number scattered versus z square graph for various materials, aluminum, copper, silver, gold, etc. And they obtained the number scattered versus z square graph is a straight line. So this shows that n of theta is proportional to z square. So the dependence of scattering rate on the square of the nuclear charge is plotted here, and it's found that they are having a linear dependence, or n of theta is proportional to z square. So that is also being verified. And also from this equation we can see that n of theta is proportional to 1 over k square, or n of theta is proportional to k to the power minus 2. So Geiger and Marsden performed several experiments to verify this also, and in order to test this prediction Geiger and Marsden kept the thickness of the scattering foil constant and varied the speed of the alpha particles. So they have done this by slowing down the alpha particles emitted from the radioactive source by passing them through the sheets of mica. അപ്പോൾ മൈക്ക ഷീറ്റ്സിലൂടെ പാസ് ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ സ്പീഡ് കുറഞ്ഞു, അങ്ങനെ കൈനറ്റിക് എനർജി കുറഞ്ഞു. അങ്ങനെ അവർ ഈ എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് പെർഫോം ചെയ്തത്. സോ നൗ ഡിഫറെന്റ് മൈക്ക ഷീറ്റ്സ് യൂസ് ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ വെലോസിറ്റി ഡിഫറെന്റ് റേറ്റിൽ കുറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പോൾ അവർ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് നടത്തിയിട്ട് മൈക്ക ഷീറ്റിന്റെ തിക്നെസ്സും വെലോസിറ്റിയും തമ്മിലുള്ള റിലേഷൻസ് ഓൾറെഡി പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അത് വെച്ചിട്ട് അവർ ഡിഫറെന്റ് വെലോസിറ്റിയിലുള്ള ആൽഫ പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസിനെ പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്തു. എന്നിട്ട് അവർ എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് പെർഫോം ചെയ്തു. സോ ദ റിസൾട്ട്സ് ഓഫ് ദിസ് എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ്സ് ആർ ഷോൺ ഇൻ ദിസ് ഫിഗർ. So a logarithmic graph is drawn over here. So here they have studied the dependence of scattering rate on the kinetic energy of the incident alpha particles for scattering by a single foil. So they have used a logarithmic graph. So a log scale is being used. So they got a straight line like this. So the slope of this line is found to be -2. So that shows that n of theta is proportional to k to the power -2. ഇത് ലോഗറിഥമിക് ഗ്രാഫ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് പവറിനായിരിക്കും, അത്രയും റേസ് ടു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പവറിനായിരിക്കും അത് പ്രപ്പോർഷണൽ വരുന്നത്. ഇപ്പൊ -2 ആണ് ഇതിന്റെ സ്ലോപ്പ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് k to the power -2 ആണ് n of theta proportional എന്ന് experimental result എന്ന് മനസ്സിലായി. So that is also in agreement with the Rutherford scattering formula. So from Rutherford scattering formula we have seen that n of theta is proportional to k to the power -2. So that is also being verified by Giger and Marsden. So Giger and Marsden verified that n of theta proportional to t, n of theta proportional to z square, and n of theta proportional to k to the power -2. And also from this equation we can see that n of theta is proportional to 1 over sine to the power 4 theta by 2. So Giger and Marsden performed experiment to verify this also. So they wanted to check this relationships also, whether n of theta is proportional to sine to the power -4 theta by 2. So this dependence on n on theta is the most important and the distinctive feature of the Rutherford scattering formula. അപ്പോൾ തീറ്റ വേരിയേഷൻ അനുസരിച്ച് n of theta, അതായത് നമ്പർ സ്കാറ്റേർഡ് ഇന്റെ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻസ് എങ്ങനെയാണെന്ന് സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പൊ തീറ്റ ചെറുതായിട്ട് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ n of തീറ്റയിൽ വരുന്ന ചേഞ്ചസ് ആണ് പഠിക്കേണ്ടത്. അതുപോലെ നമുക്കറിയാം തീറ്റ ചെറുതായി ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്താൽ തന്നെ നമ്പർ സ്കാറ്റേർഡിൽ നല്ല ചേഞ്ച് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ ഇറ്റ് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസസ് ദി ലാർജസ്റ്റ് വേരിയേഷൻ in over the range of accessible by the experiment. So small variations in theta produces some large variations in n. പക്ഷെ ഗിഗർ ആൻഡ് മാർസ്റ്റൺ പെർഫോം ചെയ്ത ഈ 3 എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ്സിലും എന്നിൽ അത്ര ലാർജ് വേരിയേഷൻസ് ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. ഒരു 1 ഓർഡർ ഓഫ് മാഗ്നിറ്റ്യൂഡ് ഒക്കെ n ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നുള്ളൂ. പക്ഷെ ഈ കേസിൽ, അതായത് n of theta versus scattering angle പ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ it can be seen that n varies about 5 magnitudes when theta varies from some 5 degree to 150 degree. So in order to obtain a relationship between theta and n of theta, they have plotted theta along x-axis and n along y-axis, and the graph is shown here. So the dependence on scattering rate on the scattering angle theta for a gold foil is studied over here, and we can see that the variation is like 1 over sine to the power 4 theta by 2. So sine to the power theta by 2 in the graph ഈ experimental graph coincide ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. So that shows that n of theta is proportional to sine to the power -4 theta by 2. So the sine to the power 4 theta by 2 dependence is exactly predicted. as by the Rutherford formula. So experimental results Rutherford formula results agree. So the agreement with the Rutherford formula with the experiment is very good. So we can say that all the predictions of the Rutherford scattering formula, which is given by n of theta is equal to nt by 4r square zz by 2k whole square multiplied by e square by 4 pi epsilon 0 whole square into 1 over sine to the power 4 theta by 2 is confirmed by the experiment. So here number density is a constant for particular material, and the radius that we can fix it, and we found that n of theta is proportional to t, and it is proportional, and we have used alpha particles, so small z is a constant, and n of theta is proportional to z square, and n of theta is inversely proportional to kinetic energy square. So this is being another constant, and n of theta is inversely proportional to sine to the power 4 theta by 2. So all the predictions of the Rutherford scattering formula is confirmed by the experiment. N of theta proportional to t, n of theta proportional to z square, n of theta proportional to k to the power minus 4, and n of theta proportional to sine to the power minus 4 theta by 2. So all those predictions of the Rutherford scattering formula were confirmed by the experiment done by Geiger and Marsden. And so the nuclear atom is verified. So the presence of the nucleus inside the atom is being verified. So as predicted by Rutherford, in the center of every atom there is a nucleus. So, and the size of the nucleus is very small compared to the size of the atom, or we can say that it is a very tiny, and almost all the positive charge of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus, and almost all the mass is concentrated in the nucleus. So nucleus is very dense. Its size is very small and its mass is high, so it's very dense. So all the predictions of the Rutherford scattering formula is verified by Geiger and Marsden. So this verify the existence of the nuclear atom. So there is a nucleus in every atom. So we have done the calculation of the fraction of projectile scattered at angles greater than some value of theta, and also we got the Rutherford scattering formula, and its experimental verification is being done. So these are the two important parts of the Rutherford scattering experiment, and now we have to get the closest approach of the projectile into the nucleus. So we will discuss the closest approach of the projectile into the nucleus on the next class. Okay, thank you.